Being tempted to eat unhealthy is it has shrank to such a small part of my thinking now that it's almost non-existent. I can walk away from almost anything without a second thought or wishing I had taken a bite. My sleeve restricts the amount of food I can eat, but not what I can eat. So still, really, it's up to me to make the right food choices. Keeping bad stuff out of my house is one of those ways I decide, to keep myself within the right food choices. If I didn't live alone, I don't know how well I would have done on this. I see some of the ladies and guys posting on here, and I can hear the families in the background on their videos, and I don't know how well I would have done if I had to open the refrigerator and see my kids' snack packs and stuff like that in there. Even though I don't really have a craving for those kinds of foods, I can walk past them in the store and go, I have no desire to eat that kind of stuff. But it's so convenient when you've been eating the same thing for literally weeks at a time, like I do. Sometimes you just want something a little bit different. It doesn't matter what it is. You just want something different and something you don't have to cook ahead of time. So that's would be a bit of a temptation for me. So fortunately, I don't have to find out how I would handle that. At the 1 year mark and continue to this day, I have to carefully monitor the kinds and the kinds and amounts of foods I eat. I have to monitor how often I eat, because when I'm bored I can easily eat again after an hour. So I have to keep a kind of a mental counter in my head as to how many meals I've eaten for the day and how much each meal was. I really try to keep like a running tally of the number of bites I've taken. So like at work, I'll bring just a 3-cup bowl of food, and for break time in the morning I'll take 5 bites out of it or 6 bites out of it, and for lunch I'll eat what I consider about a third of the bowl, and then in the afternoon I'll take another 5 or 6 or 7 bites depending on how hungry I am. But it's really become automatic for me now. It's just part of my life. I don't really have to actively think about it. Whenever I kind of feel like my weight is going up a bit, and or I've plateaued and I still want to go down, I just cut back a little bit. Instead of eating 5 or 7 bites of food, I'll eat 4 or 5 bites. And it's just a trial and error thing. I don't really keep a calorie count. I just keep a running tally in my head as to what I've eaten and how much I think I've eaten. Some of the things that will cause me to want to eat more often than I should, or eat more when I'm not even hungry, is tiredness. My brain associates lack of energy with eating sugar to get the energy back, and I will get a short-term burst if I eat something sugary, but then my energy comes crashing back down, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. Get tired, eat some sugar, get a boost of energy, come crashing back down, get tired, want to eat more sugar. So that's something I have to be conscious about. Eating out of boredom, just eating out of habit. Even after 2 years, occasionally I will find myself wanting to walk around the house looking for something to eat just because it was a habit from eating it every 2 hours. It's kind of was a tough one for me to break, but I've stopped myself now and I say, are you really hungry? Is it head hunger? No. Is it my stomach growling at me? No. Then what are you doing? Go back and get in front of your computer and play some games or something, or get out of the house. So that's one of the ways I handle it. There are certain foods that trigger sugar cravings, or they trigger my hunger, my head hunger, not my stomach hunger. Eating over a certain amount of pasta will cause that. I can eat like a bowl. This is a 2-cup bowl. This is what I just had my breakfast in, but so it's still kind of dirty. But this is a Pyrex bowl. I bought a 3-pack of these at Walmart. They're 2-cup bowls, and I bought these right after my 1 year anniversary, because I could hold up to 1 bowl of food, and so I know filling that up halfway is about a meal for me. So I know eating more than 1 bowl or 1 cup full of pasta can trigger my head hunger. The same thing with potatoes in any form or rice. So I have to be aware of that. One of my other, I guess, kryptonite foods is mixed nuts. I love mixed nuts, but they have so many calories in them that it's hard to eat just one serving. And the box says one serving is 21 nuts. So I actually count them out, and that is something in the range of 180 calories. But I can easily eat 3 ounces of mixed nuts, just tossing them back one after the other. So even though they have healthy oils in them, they have a lot of calories, and it's something I have to be aware of. One of the biggest things I had to overcome was the fear of being hungry. I mean, I don't know. It's an irrational fear. I had that fear before surgery, and I always had to have enough food around where I felt comfortable. I had enough food stashed in my desk at work in case I got hungry. I had extra food in the freezer at the house. So it's really, really strange. And I still get those feelings every once in a while, this anxiety, like I don't have enough food in the house. And I know I got enough food in the house. There's plenty of food in my house. So it's going away, but I don't know if anyone else has experienced this kind of thing. You probably have. Somebody out there has, because we all go through the same fears and doubts and thoughts in life and in the preparing for the surgery. You know, I see it over and over again. People going, is weight loss surgery the right thing for me? Am I doing the right thing? Is it going to work for me? Am I going to be the one person it doesn't work for? I had those same fears. I was really, been chasing what I call the dream of being normal sized for so many years. Had wanted to believe all those diet pill commercials saying this is the magic pill. Just take this pill and you're going to be thin and beautiful like the rest of the people on TV. And I just wanted to be normal. I would have been happy with just being average sized. So, but they all never lived up to the hype. There was no magic. So I was making a huge financial investment out of my pocket, I spent $5,000 between all the testing, the surgery, the doctor visits, on my last final hope that I was going to find a solution. Otherwise, I was going to be committed to being overweight, hugely overweight, morbidly obese for the rest of my life. One of the challenges I have in my life is still have to portion out my food. Sometimes it's difficult to put everything just in a 1-cup serving size, or if you're out eating at a restaurant or anything like that. So I have what I call my 5-bite limit rule. If I don't know what I'm eating or how many calories are in it, or if it looks like it's overly indulgent, then I will take about 5 to 7 bites and stop. That's usually 5 to 7 bites of anything is enough to satisfy my stomach growling and keep me from being hungry for several hours. So that's just a little rule of thumb when you don't know how many calories are in something or how much you have of something in front of you. So again, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy with my outcome. If it had been even worse, if I had had complications where where they had to put a feeding tube in me, and I'm pumping liquids into my stomach from an external pump for the rest of my life, and to get down to this weight and fit in with the rest of the normal people, I would go through that too. I was prepared to go through anything I had to go through before I committed to surgery. Because I knew once I committed to it, there's no backing out. So don't regret it. Do whatever is required, and just power through it. I'm trying to live by a motto that I saw that I really liked, that I've always admired a dog's ability to go through all kinds of crap and then come out the other side, and he's back to his normal old attitude. He's still a happy dog. You know, you don't see three-legged dogs that are feeling sorry for themselves. You don't see a dog that gets mauled by another dog and he has a anxiety disorder from for the rest of his life and has to go to psychiatry. It's like, so the motto I try to live by is, I saw posted online, it says, lessons from my dog. When life gives you troubles, just kick dirt over that shit and move on. It's like, just let it go. You know, we're all here to learn some type of lesson about life. As my favorite stand-up comedian, Bill Hicks, used to say, it's just a ride. And there are people who have had visions of the other side, and they come back and tell people, life is just a ride. It's got its ups and its downs, it's got curves, and it's all just a ride in the end. And Bill Hicks said, and we have so many people who are invested in that, in their lives, that they've forgotten that it's just a ride, that when someone comes along and tells them, hey, remember, it's just a ride, we tend to kill those people because we can't give up our investment in our own reality. So if you get a chance, look up Bill Hicks's stuff. He's got some stuff on YouTube. He actually passed away at 92, but he was one of the great stand-up, I call them stand-up philosophers. He really made you think about life. Let's see, moving on. Mental battles with food. Even though for the first year the surgery took away all my psychological and physical cravings for food, I still had occasional mental cravings for certain foods. Every once in a while, it was nothing that I couldn't get past. I come to realize I'm really am a food addict. I have physical triggers that make me want to eat. As I mentioned, I'm particularly sensitive to pasta, rice, sugary stuff, even whether it's pure white sugar or if it's natural sugars in foods. When I feel weak or tired, my brain encourages me to eat something sugary because it knows I'll get a temporary boost. I don't really have the need to eat bad foods unless I just kind of walk past them and the visual sight will trigger my cravings. There aren't many. It's like it really boils down to donuts. I don't know why. I guess it's like crack cocaine for my brain. That sugar, that powdered sugar glaze seems to give me a high of some kind. I mean, my brain just lights up with pleasure whenever I eat a plain glazed donut. The biggest thing the sleeve gave me was control over my eating. See, I know I'm kind of repeating stuff over and over again. I'm not good at this. If it's doing stuff like this off the top of my head or even with an outline. See, one of the other things is I still allow myself to eat sugary, starchy foods that I love, but I know the consequences of eating them or eating too much of them as far as triggering my hunger cravings, stalling out my weight loss, so I do plan accordingly for that. I don't believe in eliminating any food. I see many people posting on the boards worried that they'll never be able to eat pizza again or hamburgers or fast food, whatever their favorite food is. They're truly afraid that they'll never be able to eat it again. That may be the case for people who have the duodenal switch, the R&Y gastric bypass, where your intestines are rerouted and you bypass what's called the pyloric valve in the lower portion of your stomach, and that valve controls the speed at which food leaves your stomach. The sleeve, they don't bypass that. They simply trim off the excess stomach and leave your intestines in the same places they were. So there's I don't believe there's a dumping syndrome that is a possibility for the gastric bypass patients, because the dumping syndrome is the movement of food too fast from your stomach to your intestines. And since you still have your pyloric valve after the VSG surgery, you may feel bad sometimes when you're eating sugary foods, but the food is not moving too fast.